Have you heard the latest from USCIS? Big changes are happening in 2025, and they could impact thousands of immigrants across the country. Whether you're applying for a green card, seeking asylum, or sponsoring a spouse, this affects you. USCIS is launching one of its toughest crackdowns in recent years, and it's all about immigration fraud. Fake marriages? They're being targeted. Asylum abuse? Under strict review. Visa scams? USCIS is doubling down with new investigative tools and expanded fraud detection teams. Officials are no longer just reviewing paperwork, they're digging deeper, interviewing spouses separately, verifying addresses, even visiting homes unannounced. The message is clear. If you're not playing by the rules, the consequences will be severe, ranging from application denial to deportation and criminal charges. But here's the thing. Not everyone accused of fraud is actually guilty. In fact, many honest families and applicants may get caught up in these sweeping measures simply because of paperwork mistakes, language barriers, or confusing immigration processes. That's why it's more important than ever to know exactly what's changing and how to protect yourself. In this video, we're breaking down the 2025 USCIS fraud crackdown in plain English. What's being targeted, what's considered fraud now, and how to avoid common pitfalls that could put your case at risk, even if you've done nothing wrong. If you or someone you know is navigating the immigration process, this is must-know information. So don't click away. Stick with us as we uncover the facts that could protect your future in the US. And hey, if you find this video helpful, do us a favor. Hit that like button so more people can stay informed and safe. Let's dive in. Let's dive into what's really going on with this 2025 USCIS crackdown and why so many people are feeling anxious right now. First, let's be honest. Immigration in the United States has always been a complex process, and for many, it's also deeply personal. Whether you came here for a better life, reunited with family, or sought safety from danger, your journey probably hasn't been easy. Now, with these new fraud prevention measures rolling out across the country, things are getting even more complicated. This year, USCIS has made it crystal clear. Their number one priority is rooting out what they call fraudulent patterns in immigration applications. That includes everything from fake marriages and fraudulent asylum claims to falsified employment histories and shady visa schemes. And while yes, some bad actors do try to cheat the system, most people applying are just trying to do things the right way. The problem is, these new rules don't always make that distinction crystal clear. Let's talk about marriage-based green cards. USCIS is now taking a much deeper look at these applications. They're doing surprise interviews. They're asking more detailed and personal questions. They're even showing up at people's homes unannounced in some cases to see if couples are actually living together. If the agency thinks your relationship isn't real, even if you've been married for years, they can deny your case on the spot. And once that denial hits your record, it can be really hard to recover. For real couples who maybe don't speak the same first language, or who don't have joint finances because of cultural reasons, this can be terrifying. Imagine sitting through an interview where a small difference in answers about how you met or who does the dishes could be seen as suspicious. It's enough to make anyone nervous, even if they have nothing to hide. Now, for asylum seekers, the stakes are just as high, if not higher. In 2025, USCIS is implementing advanced data tracking and facial recognition tools to detect what they're calling patterns of abuse. That means they're analyzing language similarities in written statements, matching social media accounts, and even cross-checking application histories with law enforcement records from countries of origin. If anything looks off or inconsistent, it could trigger an immediate investigation, or even lead to criminal charges for fraud. But here's where it gets tricky. Many people fleeing persecution don't always have access to translators, legal counsel, or even basic records to prove their stories. And yet, they're being held to the same high standard as someone submitting a business visa with a stack of notarized documents. That's a real problem. Let's also not forget about work visas and student visas. These are under serious scrutiny now, too. USCIS is working more closely with U.S. employers, universities, and consulates to make sure that the job offers are real, the schools are accredited, and the timelines match up. That sounds fair on the surface, right? But it also means that if your employer makes a simple mistake in your job title or if your school delays uploading a file, you could be flagged for fraud. And once flagged, even if it's a mistake, it can delay your case by months or even years. In some cases, it can even lead to removal proceedings. And no one wants to deal with that kind of stress when all they're trying to do is follow the rules. The truth is, what we're seeing right now is a system that's becoming more rigid, less forgiving, and a lot more automated. USCIS has introduced new AI tools that can flag suspicious applications without a human even reviewing the full context first. That's great for catching real fraudsters, but also incredibly risky for legitimate applicants who might just have incomplete paperwork or cultural differences that don't fit a perfect mold. It's like being judged by a machine that doesn't understand your story. That's scary. So, what can you do to protect yourself in this environment? The first thing is awareness. You need to understand what USCIS is looking for and how the process has changed. Don't rely on old advice or things you heard 5 years ago, because the system in 2025 is not the same as it was back then. Make sure your documents are complete, consistent, and truthful. If you're applying for a marriage-based green card, talk through your timeline and personal details with your partner beforehand so there are no surprises during your interview. If you're seeking asylum, work with a qualified immigration attorney who can help you gather the right evidence, even if it's hard to find. And if you're on a work or student visa, double-check every form your sponsor or institution submits, because even a tiny error can become a big problem. Second, don't go it alone. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to handle these applications by themselves, especially when the rules are changing so fast. In 2025, there's no shame in asking for help. In fact, it might just be the smartest thing you do. There are community centers, nonprofit legal clinics, and even free online resources that can help guide you through the updated process. And if you can afford it, consider hiring an experienced immigration attorney. Not someone who makes big promises or guarantees approval, because no one can honestly do that, but someone who knows the system, stays up to date with the rules, and genuinely cares about your case. Now, I want to pause for a second and speak directly to anyone who's feeling overwhelmed by all this. I get it. Immigration has never been easy, and now with these new crackdowns, it feels even more like the system is stacked against you. Maybe you're afraid you'll say the wrong thing. Maybe you're worried about what will happen to your family. Maybe you're just tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of living in limbo. If that's you, please know you're not alone. There are millions of people across the country going through the same thing. And while the process may be tough, your story still matters. Your dreams still matter. And there are still legal, honest ways to make your future in the U.S. a reality. The most important thing right now is staying informed. USCIS is updating its fraud detection programs in real time. That means new forms, new questions during interviews, and even updated definitions of what counts as evidence. If you're not keeping up, you could accidentally break a rule you didn't even know existed. That's why we're going to be creating more videos like this, simple, clear explanations of what's changing, who's affected, and what you can do to stay safe. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a thing. Before we wrap up this section, I want to share one last thought. Immigration isn't just about laws and policies, it's about people. It's about families, about love, about second chances, and new beginnings. While USCIS may be cracking down on fraud, we need to make sure that good people, honest people, don't get punished in the process. The system should protect the country, yes, but it should also protect the dreams of those who are doing everything right. If you're one of those people, don't give up. Keep learning. Keep documenting everything. Keep your story straight. And most of all, Keep believing that your future here is worth fighting for, because it is. And hey, if you found this information helpful, if it made you feel a little more prepared or a little less alone, do me a favor. Click that like button right now. It really helps us reach more people who need this information. Share this video with friends or family members who might be going through the same thing. The more we support each other, the stronger our community becomes. All right, let's move into the next part where we'll break down exactly which types of applications are most at risk under these new measures and what warning signs to watch for. Don't go anywhere, we've got you covered.